And welcome to, drumroll please, my very first reaction video. Well, since we're here now, hey, my name is Medora, I use they them pronouns, and I like design. Today's video that I'm reacting to is called, oh, what is it actually called though? Linoleum Flooring is Cool, actually. Which I have feelings about. I have not watched it yet, I've only seen the title, so let's get into it.
It's plasticky, sticky, shiny, often in a weird pattern or totally bland. You've seen linoleum. It's probably in your high school hallway, in your closest airport and hospital, or maybe it's in your grandma's kitchen. At the very least, you can find it on home renovation television.
There might be something beautiful,
but there might not.
but there's a good chance there's not when it's linoleum.
Yeah.
Still holding on to that 70s vibe.
This linoleum has to go.
Linoleum gets a bad rap, but it wasn't always that way. Linoleum was once the stuff of dreams, an exciting, beautiful innovation in flooring technology. So, what happened?
I find it really interesting how they said it was the stuff of dreams. They did show some really interesting designs, whereas today it's usually like the same square repeating over and over again, or just like a checkerboard or, you know, something.
Very simple.
I find that very interesting.
One day, in 1855, a delightfully mustached inventor named Frederick Walton was gazing upon a humble jar of oil paint. He noticed, settled on top of the jar was a thick, stretchy layer of material. It was linseed oil, the paint's main ingredient that had oxidized. And this
attracted my attention.
I know all about this from his 1925 memoir. It's very out of print, but luckily the New York Public Library has a slightly decrepit copy. In it, Walton reflects in great detail on his 90-odd-year life, including his, quote, boyish activities.
I was living in comparative luxury. I say comparative because we had few friends, but no dinner parties, dances, etc.
Impressions of the American climate.
The summer weather was delightful, except for the extreme heat.
And visits to a psychic.
He said he would put his wife into a trance.
But mostly he wrote about his work. Walton fancied himself an inventor, and this odd substance inspired him. He tried using it as a varnish and a waterproofing material, but it
never dried properly, but was always sticky. However, I was not disheartened.
Eventually, he tried combining the dried bits of goop with cork dust, sticky gum, pigment, then rolled it all out into sheets backed by cotton cloth. It worked. He created a new type of flooring. In rapid succession, he filed a patent, named his invention linoleum, a combination of the Latin words for oil and flax, founded a company to manufacture it, and began a Mad Men-level marketing blitz to promote it.
Yeah, like petroleum, lium is oil. I don't know where lino comes from flax. So I'll pop that up on the screen here.
Advertisements, which ran nearly every day in London's papers and were plastered at every train station, touted its many advantages.
This guy was rich. He sounds like one of those people who says that they're middle class, but they're actually just rich. Because that much advertising is a lot of money, so.
Linoleum was warm and noiseless, which gave it an advantage over wood or marble. And it was waterproof, flexible, and durable, which made it far superior to earlier floor cloths, which were basically just thickly painted pieces of fabric. They protected your floor, sure.
Wait, let me go back.
Which were basically just thickly painted pieces of fabric.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good flooring material. Thickly painted fabric. Nope. Can't find any reason for that.
They protected your floor, sure, but they smelled weird, they were cold underfoot, and they wore out pretty fast. Linoleum was kind of a miracle flooring. It was durable, easy to make, supposedly antibacterial, and could be mixed and remixed into any number of beautiful patterns. Within a few years, it was an international hit. Walton even built an entire town on New York's Staten Island devoted to manufacturing it, called, predictably, Linoleumville.
Hello, welcome to Linoleumville, where the grass is greener because it's linoleum. Anyways.
And much to Walton's chagrin, competitors popped up all over the world, eventually overtaking him in popularity. Linoleum was considered luxurious, the modern refined choice. It was all over the Titanic. In fact, it still is. Even as the ship wastes away a few thousand feet underwater, the linoleum looks pretty good.
They're not wrong.
Over time, linoleum just got better. More durable, more vibrant, cheaper. By the 50s, linoleum, or lino, its jaunty nickname, came in a massive array of patterns. Like hundreds. Faux marble, faux wood, checks, squiggles, stars, stripes, florals, these cute little Mondrian-looking square things.
Who could resist these colorful patterns? The lady knows what she wants.
As it became more popular, it became more accessible. Just cut it right off the enormous roll and bring it home. And as countless ads mentioned, install it yourself. It was everywhere. Homes, schools, shops. The perfect fit for anywhere high traffic because it was so resilient and easy to clean. But all that ubiquity kind of backfired. Linoleum started to be seen as tacky, cheap. That durability backfired too. Patterns that fell out of style stuck around and started to look dated. Companies that used to focus on linoleum also pivoted to new options, like vinyl, which was cheaper and didn't require wax to stay shiny. Linoleum did enjoy a second wind in printmaking and as a breakdancing surface.
Yes, a great new use for linoleum. Cut it up.
But alongside wood paneling and those weird glass blocks, it fell way out of fashion. Until recently. Because seemingly against all odds, linoleum is making a comeback. It's featured on Instagram's favorite table and in a variety of trendy cafes, hotels, shops, and homes from Copenhagen to New York. Not to mention this exceptionally cool Estonian kindergarten.
That is a fancy kindergarten.
People are loving linoleum for all of the same reasons they used to. But there's one benefit Walton didn't anticipate. Linoleum is also really eco-friendly. It's still made with roughly the same materials as Walton's first version, almost entirely renewable resources. You can technically eat it, though you really shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try eating it anytime soon, but big points for sustainability.
So before you start thinking about ripping up that old linoleum in your bathroom, maybe give it a second thought.
If you wish to learn more about my invention, please explore Pamela H. Simpson's work. Her articles, Linoleum and Lincrusta, the democratic coverings for floors and walls, and comfortable, durable, and decorative, linoleum's rise and fall from grace, are both exceptionally well researched and full of interesting bits, like a detailed description of my other very important invention, Lincrusta. I hear that it is still found today in a variety of famous homes. Both articles are linked below. Thank you for watching.
Alright. Okay, so this video was posted about 2 months ago and it's got almost 2 million views already. So I'm curious to see what the comments are saying. An important one. Also a reason not to rip up old linoleum. I can almost guarantee there is a layer of asbestos buried under there. Okay, another person commented that what most people call linoleum isn't actually linoleum, it's usually vinyl flooring. True linoleum is still commonly used in commercial and institutional buildings, but rarely in housing, and not since the 70s. A lot of this flooring shown in the episode as linoleum wasn't actually linoleum. In several clips, it's vinyl sheet or tile flooring. That's interesting. Someone commented, those weird glass blocks, in quotes, are actually really cool. Not sure I agree with that, but that's okay. One person said, the original flooring was incredible. Installed in my parents' kitchen in the early 50s. OMG, it was beautiful and never wore out or dented. It was still there in the early 2000s, still beautiful. The house had been through 3 owners. We walked through it each time it was sold. It's probably still there. If I could buy that today, I would in a heartbeat. That's really interesting. Oh, this is a fair point. Another person commented, it bugs me when people use linoleum and vinyl interchangeably. Like, no, vinyl is horrible for the environment and off gases volatile organic compounds, which is bad for indoor air quality. Thank you for bringing up how cool linoleum is to so many more people. Okay, someone else commented, this guy referring to the person who invented linoleum was literally watching paint dry, and it launched him into a financial success and historical immortality. I won't let anyone say I'm wasting my life away idly again. I think there's some truth to that. I'm sure, you know, like money and white privilege had a lot to do with his success, but some words of wisdom there. Okay, I think this will be the last comment for now, because I think it sums up my opinions pretty well. And this person said, as long as it's not put on top of gorgeous hardwood like many of our parents did. And yep. Okay, final thoughts. Oh, wait. Okay, wait, last comment. Someone said that linoleum flooring is actually kind of expensive now, but I think I'm gonna go on a linoleum shopping spree. Not actually gonna buy anything because I don't have money, but we're gonna see how much it costs. Linoleum. Okay, I found a website. I'll put it down in the description. Apparently for some of these they have a see it in my room option, which is neat. They have one that looks like slate. Okay, these aren't even that expensive though. These are like $5 a square foot. Right now, what I'm seeing is mostly just a bunch of flat colors, but like with a texture. None of them are like majorly jumping out at me, but I think that's also kind of the point of flooring. Most flooring shouldn't jump out at you. We're gonna be here for a while. I'd be curious to see these in person and like touch them and feel them. They also have bamboo flooring, cork flooring, marmoleum, which is their version, what they're calling linoleum. Bamboo countertops. Oh, and they have wool carpet and rugs, hardwood flooring. They have non-toxic paints. I should really see if this company has an affiliate program before I talk them up anymore. Okay, final thoughts. I don't think I knew that linoleum and vinyl were actually different. I definitely did not know that it was eco-friendly, so that's really neat. I don't know if I like fully agree with the title in that it is cool now, but my mind has shifted slightly at the very least, and I might actually consider it for a project that I will be working on this summer, which you will eventually see some of. I don't know when. I think my heart is definitely still set on, you know, hardwood floors just like everyone else, and linoleum is definitely cooler than I thought it was before watching this video, which kind of pains me to say, but with the information that was presented here that I did not know and that I now know, I'm at least a little bit convinced. So we'll leave it there. Yeah, we'll leave it there. If you see any videos you want me to react to, just leave them down in the comments, or DM me on Instagram. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that like button, subscribe, do all of the YouTube things. And if you don't want to see more videos like this, hit the dislike button. Did not mean to spill.